Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor, Michigan. My name is John Rubenstein alongside Ryan the Goose Roost, and we are all set to bring you this interconference matchup between the Michigan Wolverines and the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles. Now, we are only a couple of games into this young season, but nonetheless, both of these teams are boasting undefeated records. Michigan sitting at 2-0 after a couple wins against North Florida and Central Michigan. Meanwhile, Southern Mississippi is 1-0 after their opening day win last Friday against the Southern University of New Orleans. So two teams enter undefeated, but only one will leave undefeated by the end of the night. Ryan, let's hear the keys to the game.
Well, for starters, the Wolverines have to start quickly. They have trailed in the second half of both of their games so far this season. That can't happen tonight. Additionally, they need to continue to force turnovers. They forced 14 against Central Michigan, 24 against North Florida. That needs to be the game plan tonight. On the flip side, Southern Miss needs to be upset-minded. Michigan has looked vulnerable a little bit in the early part of this season. Southern Miss needs to capitalize, and they need to feed the newbies. Tyree Griffin and Dominic McGee are both transfers, and they both scored double figures in the season opener. So look for them to contribute greatly tonight.
Southern Mississippi has traveled all 941 miles to Michigan from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And we are underway. Michigan controls the tip. Xavier Simpson with the ball to start things off. He'll drive left and drop it for Matthews. Matthews lobs one to Wagner, couldn't get a handle on it. And back the other way come the Golden Eagles, Tyree Griffin. Swings it back up top to Edwards. Holland back to Griffin. The Oklahoma State transfer stares down Simpson, hits it to Rowe. Handoff now Griffin. Pump fake, now shoots it from the elbow. He's got it. 2-0 Eagles to start.
Good first possession for the Eagles. Good ball movement and good lane switching to find that opening in the middle and sink the shot for two.
Wagner working down low. He'll go baseline. Reverse layup is no good, but he got fouled. He'll shoot two.
Southern Miss foul to number 12.
Certainly John Beeline excited to see Mo Wagner getting involved early in the offense, drawing a foul quickly, getting himself to the free throw line.
At the line, shooting two for Wolverines.
And Mo Wagner has struggled shooting the ball these first couple games, but he's averaging a double-double. 2 consecutive double-doubles for him. And he will knock down the first free throw there. Southern Mississippi coming off an impressive win against the Southern University of New Orleans. Won by 10. They're up by as much as 27 as Wagner sinks the second. Holland swings it back over to Griffin. Up top, Edwards. Looking down low, and he'll find big Tim Rowe. Rowe cross-court feed to Griffin. He'll try a three. No good. Rebound to Wagner. Matthews now into the front court. He'll get a ball screen, crossover, kick out Wagner, swinging the ball to Simpson, back to Wagner. Thought about it, gives it to Matthews. Cross-court feed to Robinson, wide open. Three ball, no good, in and out. And Griffin gets the board for the Golden Eagles. Griffin had a double-double in his Golden Eagles debut. He's a transfer from Oklahoma State, had 21 points and 13 boards in the opener. The only guy on this team who's ever played in the NCAA tournament. 6 to shoot now. They're going to have to hurry. Cross-court feed. Pump fake by McGee. McGee into the lane. Contact. And they'll give him the charge. Now, Ibby Watson into the game for Charles Matthews. He'll have the ball on the left side. Up top, Abdur-Rahman. Pump fake. Step back is good for Abdur-Rahman. He's coming off a great performance against Central Michigan. 17 points. Actually went on an 8-0 personal run in that game. So he spearheaded that great second half effort by the Wolverines on Monday night. Now it's Griffin driving into the lane off the back of Abdur-Rahman's leg. He'll recover though. with 15 to shoot. Splits the D, kicks it back out to Holland. Holland tries to swing at Simpson in the passing lane. Griffin step back comes up with nothing but air. And that'll get the Maze Rage into it early here in Ann Arbor.
Credit to Xavier Simpson there for forcing pressure on the ball movement there, forcing an aggressive pass and resulting in a turnover.
Michigan, of course, trying to fill the loss of Derek Walton Jr., who made his way onto the Miami Heat roster. And Simpson has won the point guard battle for now. He's been playing well of late. Wagner maneuvering inside, and he's fouled for the second time in this one early on. They're feeding him early, Ryan.
Absolutely. As we take another look at that foul, but Mo Wagner been very active so far in these opening minutes.
Wagner's got the first, and they're feeding him a lot early. Coach Doc Sadler for the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles likes to go small. Plays a lot of small lineups, a lot of man-to-man defense, known for his fundamentals and his energetic style as a coach. And we see a small lineup here for the Golden Eagles as Wagner knocks down the second. D'Angelo Richardson into the ball game for the Golden Eagles, the lone senior on this team. Walk on, he plays the sixth man role for the Golden Eagles. And it's Holland with it. Drops it for Griffin. Matched up with Robinson, quick crossover. Swings it to Richardson, pull up pop, no good, and Robinson corrals it for the Maize and Blue. Here comes Rockman up the right sideline, he'll slow things up. Simpson probing the lane, crossover. Now it's Rockman. Floater from the right side is good for Rockman, great control.
Rockman just picking up where he left off at the end of that Central Michigan game.
A 9-2 start for the Wolverines. Certainly a point of emphasis, as you mentioned, Ryan, to come out strong, and they've done just that here in the early going. Richardson with it against Rockman. Drives right, smothering defense by Rockman, kicks it outside to Edwards. No good on the triple. It'd be Watson, he'll try a corner three, no good. Wagner with the tap back, and Robinson ends up with it. Simpson will reset. Simpson to Robinson, he'll try a three, no good. Wagner going for another offensive board, but this time it's corralled by Kevin Holland.
Not too often we'll see Duncan Robinson miss an open three.
It's been a tale of two games for Robinson to start. Had 21 points in the opener, but only 10 against Central Michigan as that passes out of the reach of Tim Rowe. It'll be Michigan coming back with the ball as we take another look at the big shot that has helped Michigan in this 9-2 ball game. We'll be right back on BTN Plus. Welcome back to Chrysler Arena, folks. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Danny Rogers, who is standing by with some more info about tonight's game. Danny?
Captain Mo Wagner admitted that his team came out a little surprised and not ready to play in their first game Saturday against North Florida. Then on Monday night, they got off to another slow start against Central Michigan. And Coach Beeline said it doesn't matter whether or not these guys come out fired up or moving a little slower in warm-ups because it hasn't made a difference in these guys getting quick starts against these teams. One thing that always helps the Wolverines is a man-to-man defense. So this Southern Miss team, if they do happen to go into that later in the game, will give the Wolverines a big boost of confidence on offense. Back to you guys.
Coach Beeline alluded to it in his press comments. They're looking forward to facing a man-to-man team. Their system really revolves around man-to-man sets, and they were able to figure out the zone late in games, but I think their flow looks a lot better offensively in this one early on.
Absolutely. They've looked much more organized. They look more comfortable in their game plan, and they've looked much more patient with the ball offensively.
Jerron Simmons, the Ohio transfer, in at point guard now for the Wolverines. Had an illustrious career at Ohio as Abdur-Rahman ball fakes for three, and he's got it. Good-looking stroke from Abdur-Rahman. He's got a quick 8 points to start the game for Michigan. Here comes Griffin on the dribble handoff, matched up with Ibby Watson. Griffin, pull-up pop, no good, and Robinson ends up with it. Michigan will look to push. Simmons pitches it ahead to Rahman, but it's behind him. A turnover for Michigan.
Southern Miss basketball.
Simmons just tried to force that pass, got a little too creative there, went with the no-look effort, unable to connect.
Couple of turnovers early here for the Wolverines, which had been a strength of theirs through 2 games. Southern Mississippi turned the ball over 18 times in their opener. Michigan only turning it over an average of 8 times themselves with their first 2 games. So they'll look to win the turnover battle as Ibby Watson comes up with a big block. Abdur-Rahman will push it ahead and find Robinson. Wagner working down low. Now we see some zone from the Golden Eagles, but Wagner with good position misses the bunny. And the loose ball ends up in the hands of Cortez Edwards.
Wagner got himself into the position to get the shot he wanted, just unable to find the bottom of the hoop on that one.
Kevin Holland with it. Started every game for the Golden Eagles last season. Now it's Richardson on the ball screen. 10 to shoot, Edwards. Tim Rowe working inside, finesses one up off the glass for 2. He was looking for a foul, but an impressive in the paint move there by Tim Rowe.
He had 2 Wolverines on him, but that didn't faze him. He still got the shot off and found a way to get 2 points as well.
Another zone look for the Golden Eagles, and Watson will drain one from the left baseline from 18 feet. Michigan shooting the ball well here. They've extended their lead to 10. Here's Kevin Holland on the left side. Griffin working in a lot of ball screens early. He'll pitch it ahead to Richardson. Quick 3, no good, front of the rim. But Holland tracks it down. He pumps once, kicks it out. Richardson will drive. Kicks out to Edwards. Swings it over to Holland. 3 ball on the way, no good. Watson gets the rebound. Simmons, lob feed to Wagner, who corrals it. Inside layup is good for Mo Wagner. Great pass from Jerron Simmons in transition.
That was a much easier finish for Mo. He had a huge height advantage in the paint there. Not surprised to see that one fall.
Rowe and Wagner going at it early, and Tim Rowe with another impressive finish to cut it back down to 10. We'll see some substitutions next dead ball. Isaiah Livers, Charles Matthews, and John Teskey set to check in. Michigan working against this zone look from the Golden Eagles. 8 to shoot. Abdur-Rahman will try another one. In and out, no good, but the rebound to Watson, tries to throw it off of D'Angelo Richardson, and it'll be Michigan ball.
Media timeout on the floor.
We've got 11:24 left to play in this first half. Michigan with a hot start, 16-6. Stay tuned on BTN+. Welcome back to Ann Arbor, and Ryan Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman led the team with 17 against Central Michigan, and he is continuing his stellar play here early going. He's got 8 points in 8.5 minutes.
Absolutely, he's looked great so far. Prior to that missed 3-pointer, he connected on all 3 of his shots. And he's got the ball now, looking maybe for another one.
Well, Coach Beilein is looking for Muhammad to hunt shots this year and be a leader on offense for the Wolverines. Here we get our first look of Isaiah Livers and John Teskey. 8 to shoot for Simmons. Inside Teskey. He gets fouled, and 1 for John Teskey. What a way to start the ball game for him, and Coach Beilein spoke very highly of him after the game against Central Michigan. Only 10 minutes of play, but Coach Beeline said it was the best he's ever seen him play in that last game.
Teske at the line, shooting 1.
Understandable. Teske has looked very comfortable, especially this year, in the Wolverines offense and in the Wolverines defense. And you saw him put his size and strength on display as he muscled 2 points.
Tyree Griffin up top. He'll drive right, floater off front of the rim, and Teske corrals the rebound. Simmons pushing it ahead. He'll find Rockman. Golden Eagles back to man. Teske with it at the elbow, drops it for Simmons. Ball screen, no look feed to Matthews, one more to Rockman. 3-ball no good, but Teske's there again. The 7-footer doing what he does best. 2 rebounds early on for John Teske. Charles Matthews down low. He finds Teske, and Teske with the reverse.
Teske!
A couple of new faces making it work for the Wolverines.
John Beeline has to be pleased with that possession.
Charles Matthews, the ex-Kentucky Wildcat, making plays early on in this season for the Wolverines as Eddie Davis III with the little jump hook off the glass over Teske. No easy feat to shoot the ball over John Teske, but he used that shoulder to shield the ball and get it on the glass. Matthews draws the double team. Wide open Abdur Rahman. No good. So a couple misses now after that hot start for Abdur Rahman. And Coach Beeline will call on Eli Brooks. The freshman from Pennsylvania will get set to check in. 15 to shoot for the Golden Eagles. Edwards tries a 3. He rattles it home. Big shot from Cortez Edwards to keep this game in single digits. Cortez Edwards is the Golden Eagles' top returner from last season. Led the team in assists, blocks, steals, and field goal percentage. Simmons drives right, no good, and John Teske, Johnny on the spot, off the miss. He gets the putback for 2.
Teske quickly up to 6 points now in this contest.
Boy, you can just see his confidence growing as Griffin drives the lane, now swings it for Kevin Holland, who knocks down the mid-range jumper. 22-13 Wolverines. Teske top of the circle, swings it for Matthews. Matthews thought about it, now he'll take the 3. No good, back of the rim. D'Angelo Richardson the rebound. Dangerous pass to Edwards, but he comes up with it. Now it's Griffin, left side, step back move, crosses, spins, hesitates, and he'll get fouled. Crafty moves from Cortez Edwards. 7:35 to go in the first half. Wolverines up by 9. Welcome back to Chrysler Arena. John Teske only in there for 3 minutes, but he sure did make his presence felt all over the place early on for the Wolverines.
Absolutely. He saw himself in the paint getting rebounds, and he found himself with the ball a couple times in the paint and was able to finish at the rim, something the Wolverines have been a little slow to do this season. So you have to think John Beeline is very excited to see Teske establishing himself as a legitimate offensive threat, utilizing that size, especially against a smaller Southern Mississippi lineup.
And when Mo Wagner needs a breather, it's nice to have the security of a solid backup, and John Teske looking to develop into that role. Coach Beeline mentioned in his press conference that he's really pushing and really challenging both John Teske and Austin Davis, who we haven't seen yet, to reach a new level and play with more of a sense of urgency. And Teske looks to be responding. Here's Edwards Tyree Griffin with the ball in his hands a lot for the Golden Eagles. Deservedly so after his performance on opening night. The former Oklahoma State Cowboy will drive and dish to Eddie Davis III. Edwards, contested pull-up, no good. Simpson able to corral the rebound, but it's taken right away by Griffin. And Robinson just gives him the intentional foul there to prevent a layup. Nice hustle by Tyree Griffin.
Prior to giving up that offensive rebound, Michigan's team defense looked great as we take a look, but the passing and the movement and the rotations left Michigan a little disorganized, and so they weren't able to secure the rebound, and that's a mistake you can't afford to make. Offensive rebounds are not something John Beilein wants to see his team give up. It's always been a battle for the Wolverines. They tend to give up a few more offensive rebounds than some of their other colleagues in the Big Ten, something they've been working on for quite some time.
Coach Beilein's team is more known for their offense than for their defense and rebounding, but certainly need all three to be a legitimate contender, especially in this year's Big Ten, which is extremely, extremely competitive. Michigan has one of the toughest schedules in the nation this season. This is their last kind of tune-up game before they start facing a lot of highly talented opponents. Nice dish inside by McGee to Edwards, who finishes. Dominic McGee has been quiet early, picks up an assist there. He had a big night in the opener as well for the Golden Eagles, scoring 15 points, corralling 7 boards. Brooks drives baseline, and McGee laying out. And this one will stay here. But boy, great hustle by Dominic McGee.
Absolutely, always good to see players play so selflessly, laying it all on the line to try and save that ball.
Wagner up top, working against Eddie Davis. Crossover move, spins, back to Robinson, and Wagner got fouled.
With 3 seconds left on the shot clock, not a good look for the Golden Eagles to give up a foul at that point.
And that'll give the Wolverines an extra 17 seconds. Shot clock back at 20. Wagner swings it to Robinson. Wagner will try a triple. No good. Matthews fighting for the rebound, and he'll foul Dominic McGee. First foul on Charles Matthews, who's been quite impressive early on. He had 23 in the exhibition, 20 in the opener, and 13 against Central Michigan. Coach Beilein loving what he sees early from his transfer from Kentucky.
Absolutely, Charles Matthews doing exactly what the Wolverine faithful hoped he would do once he got involved in this offense. He had the year off, obviously, last year, but this year he's definitely made his presence felt.
And he'll continue to do so as this ball goes off the knee of number 11, Ladavius Drain, the lone freshman on this Southern Miss Golden Eagle squad. They have 1 senior and 1 freshman. It's got to be lonely to be the only freshman. Have to take care of all the freshman duties.
I'm sure he's looking forward to moving up to sophomore status.
Got to move up in the ranks. Baseline drive, great ball movement from the Wolverines, and Simpson kicks it back out to Robinson. Pumps, drives right, and he'll turn it over. McGee with the steal. Golden Eagles have numbers. McGee pull up pop, no good, and Wagner corrals it. Golden Eagles have struggled from the field early. Robinson transition 3, he's got it. That is what he does best.
That looks more like the Duncan Robinson that Wolverine fans have come to know and love in these past couple seasons. He has always been a lethal 3-point shooter, a little slow this year. Got that one.
Cortez Edwards, quick move. Griffin, corner 3. Got it, and the foul. That'll be 4 the hard way for Tyree Griffin. A little slow to get up. but he'll head to the free throw line. As we take another look at this Tyree Griffin 3-ball. Robinson closing out a little bit too hard.
Michigan fouls number 22, Duncan Robinson, his second personal.
And now an opportunity for the rare 4-point play. They're talking about implementing a 4-point line at some point. That would change things.
Certainly late game drama would only become more dramatic.
It's the Steph Curry effect. Free throw is no good. So Griffin can't turn 3 into 4. Only an 8-point ball game though. 4.5 to go in this first half. Isaiah Livers back in for Michigan. Abdur-Rahman pumps. Hesitates, kick out Wagner. He'll try another 3, back of the rim. Kevin Holland with the rebound.
The Wolverines starting this game 3 for 11 from deep.
And they're a 3-point shooting team, Ryan. They got to make open shots when they have them. Not the case early on, as the Golden Eagles are hanging around. McGee will drive the lane, loses control, but they'll call a tripping foul on Charles Matthews. Just under 4 minutes to play. And Duncan Robinson with a big triple. They're going to need him to heat up and in a hurry to get the Wolverines out of this shooting slump. 8-point game. Stay tuned. Michigan up 25-17 as we get ready to close out this first half. They started out shooting pretty well, but since then they've gone cold, Ryan.
Yeah, they have. 3 for 12 from beyond the arc over the course of this first half. That is not indicative of what John Beilein had in mind. On the flip side, the Golden Eagles have made 5 of their last 7 field goals, and they're starting to take a little momentum back in this game.
They're certainly hanging around, and Coach Beilein does not like that foul call on Xavier Simpson. Looked like Griffin lost control of that ball.
But there was a little contact. It's a tough call, one of those 50-50s.
Certainly not malicious. Even a bailout call maybe, as Griffin steps back and knocks it down. Might have been an off-arm extension there to get him open. Chance for a makeup call by the rest, but they don't take it. And we've got a 6-point ball game. Abdur-Rahman to Ibi Watson. Michigan just working it around the perimeter, but now Watson drives the lane, floater, no good. And Dominic McGee grabs the board.
Although the shot didn't fall, it's good to see Ibi Watson starting to feel a little more comfortable taking the ball to the hoop. He tends to settle for long shots, so it's good to see him trying to take those higher percentage shots now.
Wagner knocks this ball away. It'll be 12 to shoot for the Golden Eagles. Coached by Doc Sadler in his 4th season at Southern Miss. He inherited a bit of a rebuilding job, but they are trending in the right direction. They play in the Conference USA and have increased their win total in that conference each of the 3 years under Sadler. Step back 3 by Griffin is good. He's starting to heat up. It's a 1-possession ball game in Ann Arbor. Crowd trying to urge this Wolverines team on. Looking a little flat right now as we wind down the first half. Abdur-Rahman will try baseline, negated, and a steal by Griffin. And then by McGee. McGee with the layup, and it's a 1-point game. Coach Beilein needs a timeout.
Timeout, Michigan.
Southern Mississippi actually on a 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 31 seconds, and down only 1 point. That's something that head coach Doc Sadler is certainly excited about, nearing the break.
Doc Sadler's been around the block a few times. Coached at UTEP, stint at Kansas, as Wagner drives the lane with a much-needed bucket with the right hand. But Coach Sadler coached 6 years at Nebraska, and he'll use a timeout with 2:04 to go. Well, when you've been in the business as long as Coach Beeline has, you're gonna make some friends. 40th year coaching, started out at 1975, coaching JV at New Fane High School, and he's worked his way all the way up to the Michigan head man. Spent time at West Virginia before coming over to Ann Arbor, and he's had a lot of success. The all-time wins leader for Michigan at 217. Looking for 218 tonight. It's the Wolverines' third game in 6 days. So they've been busy to start the season, and they find themselves in a battle here with the Golden Eagles. Inside Tim Rowe. He'll spin and put one up, and good over the outstretched arms of Mo Wagner. A 100 seconds remaining in the first half. Rockman spins, finds Watson open for three. Got it. Nothing but net for Ibby Watson.
What a smooth stroke on that shot.
They needed that one to go. Sometimes these shooting slumps can be contagious. But Watson ends the drought for Michigan. They're feeding Tim Rowe inside. No good this time, as Livers came from the backside to help out and swat that ball out of bounds.
Prior to that miss, the Golden Eagles had made 5 consecutive baskets on 5 attempts. Now 5 for 6 on their last 6. But nonetheless, they have really turned around their offensive performance, now shooting 50% from the field.
Who will seize the momentum going into halftime? 1:05 to play as Griffin waits, swings to McGee. McGee will try a long three. He's got it. Dominic McGee.
For 3.
He's bounced around in his college career. Started out at Memphis. Redshirted in his only year there, then went to Grand Canyon University, and now he's looking to find a home at Southern Miss. And Doc Sadler loves his energy, loves his scoring ability. Said he can be a 20-point-a-night guy if he hunts for shots. And Wagner now with the ball fake makes his way inside. No good. Tip in, though, by Rockman coming in from the weak side. And Michigan has a 3-point lead.
Rockman has been very quiet on the court for the last 10 or 15 minutes after that really quick hot start he saw. That's his first bucket since those 8 points he scored in the first few minutes. Good to see him getting back into rhythm.
4 seconds for Griffin. Got a mismatch with Livers. He'll try a three. Got it! At the buzzer for Tyree Griffin, and that'll tie the game. Going into halftime, what a shot by Griffin.
The Southern Miss Golden Eagles.
Wow, the Golden Eagles finishing the half strong to knot this game at 32. We've got the third member of our broadcast crew, Danny Rogers, standing by with John Beeline. Danny?
Good things have happened when the ball is in the paint tonight. What are your thoughts on your team adjusting for the first part of that first half? What do they need?
You know, it's funny. We took some really some shots so we can get better shots, and then late in that shot clock, Mo was wide open and he didn't shoot it. We're trying to figure out who the heck we are, Danny, and I think I know who we are. I think they're trying to figure that out. But it really came out. A couple of guys really pressed a little bit on offense, and then defensively right now, we're trying our best. They've made some great shots. Give them credit.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Ann Arbor, where the Golden Eagles are perhaps starting to smell an upset. Let's take a look at some replays from the first half. Ryan, what'd you see out there?
Well, the Wolverines started out very strong, but then John Beeline noted in his interview that they are trying to figure out who they are, and they struggled to figure out who they were at the end of that first half. As Southern Mississippi came out at the end of the half, knocking down 7 of its last 8 field goals. That was absolutely incredible. And in fact, they actually hit a 3-pointer at the end of the half to give them the lead. So the 32-32 we thought we had going into halftime is actually 33-32 in favor of the Golden Eagles. With that, it looks like we could have an upset brewing tonight in Ann Arbor.
It'll certainly be interesting in the second half. That last 3-point bucket was part of a 7-for-8 stretch that the Golden Eagles had to end the half, and they'll start with the basketball here in the second half. 20 minutes to go. They have a 1-point lead. Tyree Griffin led the way in the first half with 12. Cortez Edwards drives the lane, floater no good, and Wagner gets the rebound. Simpson pitches it ahead to Matthews. Back now to Simpson, who will reset. Wagner over to Matthews. Couple of jab steps. Pass to Wagner. Mid-range jumper is good for big Mo Wagner. He's got 8.
From Charles Matthews.
Charles Matthews with the assist. He was shut out in that first half. One of Michigan's top scorers to start the year, but he had no points as McGee drives the lane, no good. Battle on the ground. Wagner comes away with it. Quick outlet to Matthews. Simpson down the middle of the court. Matthews left side, refuses the screen from Wagner. And Robinson will start the offense. Quick move to the right, off glass, no good. He blew the layup. Went right past Tim Rowe, but couldn't finish.
That's a bucket you've got to have if you're Duncan Robinson. No excuse for missing a layup like that.
Robinson only 3 points in the first half. Xavier Simpson and Jerron Simmons, 0 points between both of them. Michigan's going to need some of these guys to step up, Ryan.
They are. They haven't had much offensive production outside of Mo Wagner. And with the exception of that explosive few minutes that Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman started with, he was pretty quiet as well.
Sloppy pass by Matthews in transition. And Southern Miss will settle into their offense. Here's Griffin. In a matchup with Robinson. Now McGee, 10 to shoot. He's just holding it. Now he'll make his move, loses the ball. Simpson picks it up. Michigan has numbers if they want it. 5-on-4. Matthews passes up the 3, dumps it into Wagner. Wagner lobs one for Matthews in an awkward spot, and the Golden Eagles end up with it. Another turnover for Michigan early on.
John Beilein visibly frustrated with Mo Wagner after that pass.
McGee from the corner, and it's a 2-point Golden Eagles lead. This crowd is silent right now at Chrysler Arena.
Wolverines were 15-3 at home last year, find themselves on the brink of what would be a pretty big upset on their own home court.
Abdur-Rahman. Pull-up pop is good. Tie ball game. Abdur-Rahman now with 12 on the night. Started off with a quick 8, has been quiet since then, but maybe that'll get him going here in the second half. Cortez Edwards crosses over. Bounce pass to Griffin, who tracks it down. Shooting over Robinson, missed everything. And here comes Abdur-Rahman. Hesitates and goes, fouled before the shot. As we see John Beilein having an animated conversation with his center from Germany.
That's likely the product of that careless pass that Wagner made earlier. And John Beilein just does not accept that type of passing from someone with the experience that Mo has.
Wagner working on a pick and roll, now dishes to Robinson. Matthews to Wagner. Abdur-Rahman lines it up. No good. And Griffin will walk it up for the Golden Eagles.
The Wolverines now only shooting 29% from 3. Golden Eagles, however, shooting 55%.
Fadeaway jumper rims out, but there's Eddie Griffin battling Wagner for the rebound. Tyree Griffin, the former Oklahoma State Cowboy. Dishes now to Holland. Diagonal feed down low to McGee. And the Golden Eagles have regained the lead with 15.5 to go. A nervous energy circulating Chrysler Arena right now as Robinson swings to Wagner. Matthews uses the ball screen, gets in the lane, dishes to Abdur-Rahman. Another 3 on the way, no good again. McGee brings it down, and an obvious foul on Mo Wagner. We've got 15:10 to play. Is there an upset brewing Southern Mississippi? Sure hope so. They cling to a 2-point lead. Stay right where you are. Welcome back to Chrysler Arena. We saw a couple misses from Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, but he is putting up a lot of shots, which Coach Beilein wants out of his senior. Let's head back to Danny Rogers with more on number 12. Danny?
Thanks, John. One of the newly appointed captains for this Michigan team is not a guy known to be very vocal. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman is more laid back. But when Coach B told him he wanted Muhammad to be more aggressive, he told the senior guard to be a thermostat that sets the temperature, not the thermometer. Coach B wants him to show everyone how hard they've got to play and have his teammates follow it. Back to you guys.
Coach Beilein chock full of metaphors. And Abdur-Rahman is taking his share of shots. He's 5 of 10 from the field, but only 2 of 7 from 3. He's had a couple open looks to start the half. Hasn't gotten them to go down from long distance. As the Golden Eagles looking like a confident team with nothing to lose. Backdoor feed to McGee, who slams it down, but it won't count. A travel before the dunk. Wolverines bailed out.
McGee couldn't believe the travel call, but
I think he thought he had an and one.
He might have.
Simpson on the left side. Now it's Robinson driving the lane, kicks to Wagner, extra feed Simpson. He'll put up a 3, no good, front of the rim. And Griffin will circle back and slow things down for the Golden Eagles.
Still nothing for Simpson tonight.
Lob it inside to Davis, who had position. And Davis with another little bunny hook with the right hand. 4-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Simpson swings it to Robinson. Robinson yet to get going in this one. Abdur-Rahman probing, finds Wagner. Short jumper is good for Wagner. Boy, they needed that.
And with that, the Wolverines are 3 for their last 27 attempts.
A frigid streak shooting the ball for the Wolverines as Davis corrals this rebound, much to the dismay of these Michigan coaches who are watching their team trying to figure out who they are, in the words of John Beilein. And it looks like they've yet to find it. But Watson comes up with the deflection. Robinson will push it ahead. Simpson, ball fake. Robinson wide open, top of the key, ribs out. And a big sigh from this Chrysler Arena crowd would have given the Wolverines the lead back. This has been a trend, Ryan, for Michigan. They were down by 1 in the second half to North Florida. Also trailed late against Central Michigan as Wagner soccers one out of bounds.
As you're mentioning, though, it's been a theme for the Wolverines this year. They've trailed late in both of their regular season contests so far. This makes the 3rd consecutive game where they've trailed in the second half. not a promising look. That being said, the Wolverines have played a lot of games in a short time span in the past week. So it could make sense that they might be a little worn down for this game.
Well, they're only going to get more busy. They head to Maui tomorrow as Griffin comes up with air. Rebound by Edwards, no good. Michigan will play 3 games in 3 days, starting on Monday against LSU in Maui. So they have a long flight tomorrow morning and a couple of big games. You got to wonder how they'll come out in those games. They can barely keep a lead against Southern Miss. Here's Matthews taking a big hit from McGee. Ran into a brick wall on the baseline. Michigan will keep it. Jerron Simmons into this ball game. And Simmons has been quiet through the first couple of games. He hoped to start. Had an illustrious career at Ohio. 8th in the nation in assists, 1,000-point scorer. Averaged 17.2 a game. Coach Beilein's talked about him adjusting to this new role. Doesn't have the ball in his hands nearly as much as he did at Ohio. Off the ball foul there on Eddie Davis. Working on Teskey down low. But it's a big change of pace for Simmons.
Absolutely. The Big Ten could be a little more competitive.
Simmons lobs one into Teskey with 20 to shoot. Abdur-Rahman pumps, drives left, kick out wide open. Charles Matthews, no good. He is struggling to find the mark tonight as Griffin tracks it down in the corner. Michigan student section letting him know about his couple of air balls tonight. Griffin will reset with 10 to shoot. Edwards finds Holland down low, absorbs contact, can't get it to go.
Great stop ball defense there from Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman.
All the way cross court to Robinson, who knocks it down. Big shot by Duncan Robinson. And suddenly the energy has flipped. Michigan with a 1-point lead, 11:22 to go. Here's Griffin working on Simmons. D'Angelo Richardson. Baseline drive, wild shot, no good, and Matthews corrals it. Simmons looking to push. Cross-court feed to Abdur-Rahman, got tipped, but he ends up with it. Finds Matthews, who will circle back out, and Michigan will reset. Here's Abdur-Rahman, uses the John Teskey screen, step back jumper over Davis, got it. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, the thermostat, starting to heat up, and Doc Sadler wants a timeout. A lot of new pieces he's working with this year for the veteran head coach.
Absolutely, John Beilein in his 11th season as a Michigan Wolverine head coach. He's the all-time wins leader for the university with 217. Looking to get 218 tonight, maybe coming a little more difficult than he might have hoped. But nonetheless, still in it for the Wolverines.
Southern Miss will have the ball coming out of the timeout. It's Edwards up top. Robinson went for the steal, didn't get it, but he recovers. Holland on the right side. Abdur-Rahman tries a steal. He won't get it. And a hectic possession ends with a turnover.
And after that possession, Southern Mississippi has now gone 4 minutes and 17 seconds without a bucket.
Matthews can't get the roll, but he'll shoot too. It is often said, Ryan, that basketball is a game of runs. And we have seen that tonight, going back and forth in terms of momentum here in this one. And we'll come to a timeout here. For the big center from Germany, decided to forego the NBA draft and come back for another season at Michigan, and Coach Beilein is relying on him heavily to lead this team. Wagner said it himself, he's not the most natural leader. It's a new role for him, and I think the same can be said of Duncan Robinson and Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. Big shoes to fill. Zach Irvin was very vocal. Derek Walton, the core of this team last year. And Matthews will look to pick up some of that role as he can't knock down the first free throw. Michigan holding on to a 3-point lead here with 10:01 to go against the upset-minded Golden Eagles. Second is good for Matthews. He finally gets on the board. Sometimes you get the first one to go down and it can snowball. Matthews will look to get going in the final stretch of this game. And a charge, offensive foul on McGee.
McGee couldn't believe that one.
He's had a couple calls go against him today on the dunk. The would-be and one dunk that got called a travel, and you see a nice play to step in by the Wolverines defense and take a charge. Deron Simmons back into the ball game. John Teskey with an impressive first half, also in for the Wolverines. They're looking for him down low. Robinson takes the three. Too much space. Hand down, man down for Duncan Robinson.
Much more characteristic of the Duncan Robinson that Wolverine fans have been familiar with.
Robinson's knocked down his last two. He's streaky. Dangerous as anyone when he gets going. D'Angelo Richardson. Rocking the headband. Shakes and bakes his way into the lane. Fadeaway is no good with the left hand. Simmons will push it ahead. Takes contact, no good, and no foul. Back the other way comes Griffin. No numbers for the Golden Eagles. He'll back it out. Critical juncture in this game. Wolverines have extended their lead to 7, and they get a turnover.
It's now been over 5 minutes without a bucket for Southern Mississippi.
Abdur-Rahman drives the lane. He'll put one up. No, Teskey again with the putback. Someone's got to put a body on John Teskey. Doc Sadler wants a timeout. 8:28 to go. Wolverines have extended their lead to 9. Welcome back to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where Duncan Robinson has found the stroke here in this second half. He's now 3 for 6 from 3 after a slow start. He's got 9 points, all of them coming on triples. And look for Michigan to keep feeding him the ball down the stretch, as the Golden Eagles will look to hang around. They are desperately in need of a bucket. Now 6 minutes and counting without a field goal. Tim Rowe finds the corner for Tyree Griffin. No good. Teskey the rebound. Abdur-Rahman inside to Teskey. He'll back it out to Simmons. Charles Matthews wants the ball. He's got a mismatch, but they'll go the other way with it. 12 to shoot. Now Matthews ends up with it. Finds John Simmons up top. Ball screen with Teskey. Finds Robinson. He'll try another one. No. Edwards the rebound. And Richardson will back it out for Southern Miss. Tyree Griffin has played every second of this ball game. Coach Doc Sadler relying on him heavily, as well as his other transfer, Dominic McGee, who is still in the game. Or no, he's on the bench now, and probably foul trouble having to do with that. He's got 4 fouls as Tim Rowe working on Teskey, no good at the end of the shot clock. Simmons into the front court. Robinson, same spot. This time he pumps, drives baseline, finds Abdur-Rahman. Back to Robinson. Teske faces up. Pretty stroke from John Teske. 11-point lead for Michigan. And Ryan, it looks like this game is following the trend of the previous two. Michigan struggling, but they've opened up this lead to 11 points.
Absolutely, the Wolverines offense has come to life in this second half. The same bucket that Southern Miss was able to succeed on in the first has become the home of the Wolverines offense now.
Tim Rowe fouled hard by Teske in the paint. He'll shoot two.
Michigan fouls to number 15.
Number 12 for the Golden Eagles, coming off an injury-ridden season last year.
Team second.
He played in 8 games for Southern Miss before suffering a broken foot that ended his season.
Number 12.
Up until that point, he was averaging almost 10 a game, 6.4 rebounds per game, shot almost 50% from the field. But he misses the free throw there as Eddie Davis III gets set to check in for him. Interesting, Coach Beilein choosing to ride with Simmons here down the stretch at point guard instead of Xavier Simpson, who remains on the bench.
Checking in for the Golden Eagles, number 15.
With that free throw, that was the first bucket of any type for Southern Miss in the last 7 minutes and 45 seconds.
So they've gone cold, but game's still within reach. A 10-point game here with 6:10 to go. Abdur-Rahman pull-up pop, no good, in and out. Teske with the back tap. And Michigan will get another possession, and they'll capitalize. Charles Matthews weaving his way for two.
That was Matthews' first field goal of the night.
Griffin lightning quick into the lane, but misses the short jumper. Robinson ends up with it. Michigan looking to put the Golden Eagles away. Simmons will hold back, and now Matthews will work inside. Double team coming. Abdur-Rahman in the paint. Robinson lines it up and knocks it down. Duncan Robinson finding the touch here late in this ball game. Doc Sadler wants another timeout. Michigan has opened up this lead to 15, and the bench is loving it.
You have Southern Miss, who's seen their field goal percentage drop to 17.5 in this half. Of course, on the game, they're still shooting 40, but 17% this half. That's something that they were not looking to happen if they wanted to maintain that lead they started with.
And they were red hot to close out the first. Different story here in the second for Doc Sadler's squad, as Griffin will look to get them back on track. Eddie Davis down low. He likes that jump hook, and he's got another one. Eddie Davis, creative down low. You don't see too many hook shots in the game anymore, but Eddie Davis is going retro, bringing it back. Dangerous pass, and that'll be a turnover.
Southern Miss basketball.
Teske now just 1 rebound away from a double-double.
How about John Teske really having an impact here as Beilein is rolling with him down the stretch. Mo Wagner gets a breather. Teske outside against Davis. Golden Eagles having trouble on the offensive end. Step back is way short, not even close. And a foul by Richardson on the big 7-footer John Teske, who gets another rebound, and right on cue, John Teske's got himself a double-double. The first of his young career.
The first of his young career, but the third for the Wolverines this season. Mo Wagner with the first 2, and now another big fella, this time is John Teske.
Well, he's learned a thing or two from his counterpart at the center position, Mo Wagner. Robinson swings through, drives, now kicks it out. Simmons. Charles Matthews, left corner, 3 is good. And Michigan's got a 16-point lead over the Golden Eagles. Matthews, after being shut out in the first half, has got 6 here in the second. And Michigan starting to pull away. Got to work quickly now if you're the Golden Eagles. Griffin inside Davis, who is fouled by Teske down low. That'll take us to the under 4-minute timeout. Michigan has opened it up here in Ann Arbor. 3:47 to go. Michigan looking to hold on to this lead. We'll be right back from Ann Arbor. Welcome back, folks. Crowd here feeling a little more comfortable now with 3:47 to go. Duncan Robinson and Charles Matthews, who slept through the first half, have come to life here in the second for Michigan.
They've put on quite an impressive show here in this second half. Not to mention John Teske. He's been impressive all night for the Wolverines, coming off the bench now with 10 points and 10 rebounds.
Yeah, he's coming into his own here tonight. Griffin, a mid-air ball chance from the Maze Rage, will make his move into the lane. Spins and kicks it out. Richardson, double clutch three in front of the rim. And Michigan can take their sweet time, nursing a 16-point lead. Beeline keeping his veterans in the game as Robinson swings it to Matthews, now Simmons. Looks over the defense, uses a ball screen, pivots out to Rockman. 5 to shoot. Rockman hesitating. He'll shoot over 2 defenders, air ball, and that'll result in a shot clock violation. Not a bad possession, though. You take 30 seconds off the clock. Get some time to set up your defense. Don't allow any transition points for the Golden Eagles.
Golden Eagles might have preferred some transition points there. Looked like they had the easy bucket.
They had numbers. Griffin sneaks a pass to Davis. Now it's Edwards. Davis will try a 10-footer. He knocks it in. Eddie Davis taking shots and making shots. He hasn't missed too many tonight. In fact, he hasn't missed any. 4 for 4 from the field for Eddie Davis III. Jerron Simmons still in the ball game for Michigan. He'll control the offense here. Driving right, contact from D'Angelo Richardson. That's just the first, or excuse me, that's the 8th team foul, and Michigan will be in the bonus. Simmons with a 1-and-1. Free throw rims in, and interesting that we're seeing Simmons down the stretch here. Ryan Simpson had been playing very, very well. 9 assists against North Florida, career high. 13 points against Central Michigan, career high. And here he comes.
Right on cue. Offensively quiet tonight, but he is one of the Wolverines' best on-ball defenders. Very aggressive, very quick with his feet.
The point guard battle has been a big story this season. Beeline hasn't said definitively who is the defined starter, who's the defined backup. I think we'll see him mix and match throughout the season, depending on the opponent, depending on how each guy is performing. So they've got a bit of a three-headed monster in Simpson, Simmons, and freshman Eli Brooks, who's been impressive early on. Haven't seen much of him tonight. Matthews backs it out to Rockman. 8 to shoot. Hesitates. Sweeps into the lane. Rebound again by John Teske. That first shot by Abdur Rockman missed the rim, so Simpson had to heave one from about 35 feet. Comes up way short, so another shot clock violation.
Looked like John Beeline was the only Wolverine who noticed that the shot clock was about to run out. He quickly jumped to his feet.
Nothing gets by John Beeline, the cleanest coach in the NCAA, according to a CBS coaches poll. Griffin is fouled outside. Griffin has not seen the bench since the start of this game. He is a workhorse for Doc Sadler, as Robinson will take a seat. Likely the end of his night. He finishes with 12 points and a stellar shooting performance in the second half for number 22. McGee will try one. Too strong. And Simmons will make his move. Teskey up top. Michigan about to head to Maui, Hawaii. Early morning flight for them tomorrow. Simmons loses it out of bounds with 35 seconds to go. Ryan, how do you think they're feeling going into those games? They'll play 3 in 3 days, starting with LSU on Monday.
Well, they've already had a very quick start to their season, so they might be a little tired, not to mention they'll have to be up early for the flight tomorrow, of course. Some travel time differences could come into play. I wouldn't be surprised if they come into this tournament very excited, but they might not play or look like they're that excited, as John Teskey getting a well-deserved standing ovation. What a performance for him tonight. The double-double absolutely deserves the standing ovation that Chrysler Arena is giving him.
Very promising college career ahead for John Teskey, the 7'1" center out of Medina, Ohio. And he has helped Michigan pull away. As we count down the final 10 seconds, Xavier Simpson will dribble it out. And Michigan will go to 3-0. 3 home wins here at Chrysler Arena. They take it 61-47. Wasn't pretty in the first half for the Wolverines, but as usual so far this season, they got it together in the second and exploded on offense with some big three-point buckets. A great effort on the glass by Teskey, and they will walk away unscathed through 3 games.
It was really an impressive performance down the stretch from the Wolverines. After giving up 33 points to Southern Mississippi in that first half, the Wolverines only surrendered 14 for the entirety of the second half, while adding 29 more to their own.
Let's take a look at some of your highlights from this one. In a game that was a tale of 2 halves, the Golden Eagles only shot 26% in the second compared to Michigan's 50% from the field. Big performances by Abdurrahman, Wagner, Robinson, Teskey, all scoring in double figures. And Michigan can breathe a sigh of relief as they get set to play in the Maui Invitational and begin a grueling schedule to begin the rest of this season, Ryan.
Absolutely. They do have a lot to go in front of them.
All right, that'll do it from all of us here at Chrysler Arena. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, everybody.